you're so sad? You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. We had an absolute barn burner of a show this afternoon in the Lotus 79s. If you missed that one, I am sorry you did. Go back, find the stream, and watch it, because holy crap, was that race absolutely incredible. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here. Joined in the booth tonight by Mr. James Watson and the Bizzler, Mr. Patrick Byrne. And James, we'll come to you first here, buddy. It's Road America in the Indy Pro cars. It's like going to Spa. We are going to get an absolute banger of a race here tonight.
Yeah, this track and Spa, they never fail to put on an absolute amazing show. We're going to see the top guys in this series just nose to tail for all 13 laps. It's going to be an absolute barn burner.
I think so, and Bizzle will come to you on this one. These cars are kind of just made for places like Road America. They draft well. They have a lot of power, a fair amount of power in a car that is not that crazy heavy. It just kind of feels like this is a combination that is going to work every time we put it out there.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe it was Tony Kanaan a couple years ago in the IndyCar series discussed this track. It's a track, in his words, it's a track that rewards the driver with the biggest balls. You go out there, you got to be ballsy, you got to be gutsy, and you really have to send it all the way in. It's not a track that you necessarily need to hit your marks at. It's a track you need to be able to be willing to make the crazy moves at, and that's why it puts on such a good show, especially in these low horsepower cars.
Yeah, that's really saying a lot too, coming from a guy with easily the biggest nose, and apparently we learned this week, one of the biggest mouths in racing. He was able to fit a rocks glass in his mouth. I'm just floored. Everything about TK is just bigger. The personality is bigger, the facial features are bigger.
I thought you were talking about me for a second there, and I was like, what the hell, man? First we go with the sausage-filled tennis balls, now we're going about fitting a rocks glass in my mouth.
No, that was Tony Kanaan on a podcast.
Well, he is now my hero.
Yeah, he was teaching Rubens Barrichello and somebody else how to drink, how to do shots properly. And yeah, actually, if I can find the video here during the race, I will. I'll put it up on the screen for everybody because it is absolutely comical.
I need to get down to Brazil then, because apparently I've been taking shots all wrong for the last, well, we'll call it a year that I've been taking.
Yes. Following along with Ted Burns as he is out here qualifying. A name that we have not seen in a little bit. Let's get him up on the side-by-side. Carter Lundy out on the racetrack here tonight. He's going to be wearing the number 2 plate. David Porcelli, Everett Paddock, Nagisa Yoshikawa going to be numbers 1 through 5. Sean P. Malloy Esquire back in the field with us. We're excited to see his name on the entry list as well. 20 and 21 cars, so 41 on the entry list here tonight. Actually, we have 22, so I guess 43 maybe? It's 20, yeah, 22 and 21, so 43. I math hard. Let's see.
Fine. We're not paid to do math.
Well, just remember, bad math is better than no math.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
No, Patrick, you're thinking meth.
Yeah, sorry, I've been on a Breaking Bad binge this week.
Oh my God, this is going to be a night.
And
Carter
the show has just started and we're already going crazy.
Carter Lundy, quick timer, 2 minutes, .282. Are we going to see somebody get into the 159s here tonight? Ted Burns just coming over the line to finish his first qualification lap. Quick time, 2 minutes, .207 seconds. I think we could see a 1 minute 59 and change second lap here if somebody absolutely nails this. Burns and Lundy, 0.3 of a second up on Porcelli. Porcelli and Paddock are going to make a nice clean row number 2. Nicholas Daly slotting up into the 5th position. Sean P. Malloy Esquire running 6th. As just about everybody is on the racetrack right now. Brian Labarge has gone off track. His qualification run will end. Carl Lemkuhl not on the racetrack. 1 lap in the books. We'll see if he's going to be able to make an attempt at lap number 2.
Yeah, I just got an idea. Do we send the winner of tonight's race a case of chili lime flavored ramen? Chili lime shrimp flavored ramen.
No. I think that's a terrible idea. We've already shipped $50 worth of ramen to somewhere in Ontario, Canada. Johnny Avila picking up the win last night. By the way, watch back the Victory Lane interview on that one if you guys have not seen that one yet. That is the best Victory Lane interview we have ever done here on the National Racing Network.
Oh, he had me rolling on the floor laughing. That was so funny.
Johnny Avila winning the Bizzle Bowl 200, picking up 2 cases of ramen noodles as his prize. Because reasons. Carter Lundy over the line. The lap was quicker, but not by much. 2 minutes, .275. David Porcelli going to jump up to second quick. Teddy B making his way up the hill. What will the second lap be for Ted Burns? Everett Paddock, 2 minutes, .041. He goes quick time. Ted Burns' second lap is not faster. 2 minutes, .337. A banger of a lap out of Everett Paddock. Oh my goodness, Everett. Where did that speed come from? That's the outright pace we've been talking about Everett Paddock being a tick off on. My God, did he find it tonight? He's a full 10.5 up on Ted Burns. Nicholas Daly does not improve. Let's pick up Carl Lemkuhl. 54 seconds remaining. He will be the final car to get a lap in. Down towards Canada corner. What a fantastic shot out of Canada corner.
Into track.
Oh, I love that look that Connor Baldwin gave us. Well done, sir.
You know, that weather dude is pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad, actually. We haven't heard from Connor in a while. We might have
He's been pretty active in the RIL. Hasn't shown his face here in TNT in a little while.
well, we might have to change that one as qualifications have come to an end. And my goodness, if this is what we're going to see for this race, I am thoroughly excited for this one now.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely nuts.
Oh, this is a full lap, pace lap tonight, boys.
Boo.
Oh.
Now, the last time we raced Road America, I believe that is when we were over in, I believe we were in Bradenton for the last one. There were some shenanigans on the initial start.
You know what? Yeah, it's not the last time we were here, but yes, you and I did the broadcast from a hotel near the Freedom Factory. And yes, there was some goings on the initial start. We'll talk about that here in a moment, but first, let's take a look at the starting grid for tonight's race. Well, get the right one up anyway. There is Everett Paddock, your pole sitter, 2 minutes, .041. Ted Burns going to line up on the outside of row number 1. Row 2 tonight will have David Porcelli lining up alongside Carter Lundy. Row number 3 will see Nagisa Yoshikawa and Thomas Fisher. That is a great run out of Fisher in the royal purple colors, putting that car on the outside of row 3. Row number 4 will have Nicholas Daly lining up alongside Sean P. Malloy Esquire. A couple of downforce racing cars there in that one. Ted Burns also in a downforce racing car, but that one is the white livery machine, celebrating his championships from 1 season ago. Richard Holt and Liam Loisel are going to be on row number 5. Row 6 tonight, we'll see Carl Lemkool and Frank Gwynn. Row 7, Mobin Khan lining up alongside Brian Labarge as the field's going to roll off down the front straightaway. A little too loud on the cars there. Yeah, sorry about that. Row number 8 will be Jason Miller lining up alongside Max Cooper. Is that almost looks like another downforce racing car. We'll have to see whether that one is a downforce car or not. Brian Karszewski lining up alongside Mike Holler on row number 8. No, row number 9, sorry. Row 10 will be Jake King in an old McLaren Mercedes F1 scheme coming from the back of the field. This is going to be awesome. Stephen C. Thompson lining up alongside. Row number 11 will have Wes Shire lining up alongside Simon Fell. 22 cars on the grid for tonight's race. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know what you think of the broadcast and the graphics and everything else. And, well, quite frankly, we want to talk to you guys because there's a lot going on here. But James, heading down the hill here towards turn 5, this is one of those spots where it can turn into a mess very quickly.
It can. It's one of it. Honestly, to me, it's the hardest braking zone on the entire track because it's basically the second highest mile-an-hour point of the track next to the main straightaway, and you're going downhill. That really wreaks havoc on your braking. And sometimes, if you're not careful, it can catch you out, and you can carry a lot more speed. And in an open wheel car, when you have cars in front of you, well, that could end really poorly, really easily. And with how close these cars are going to be all race long, one incident could nuke half the field, at least.
Yeah, especially if it happens early. They head under Patrick's favorite part of the racetrack, the Johnsonville-Bratwurst Bridge, and into the carousel. We saw some interesting things here in the Lotus 79 race earlier today. Late in the going, those cars started getting tail happy and twitchy through the carousel. That's something we could see here as well, because you make the run through the kink and you're on a straight blast down to Canada Corner, Bizzle. We saw it last season. That is a passing opportunity in these cars. It's not like some of the Indy cars or some of the other machinery that we see. This is one of those deals that you can pass in Canada Corner.
Yeah, I was so disappointed I missed that Lotus 79 broadcast. I was caught up at work, not even scheduled today, and found myself on the entrance tunnel of a beautiful Saline Mustang. I was not calling it that, though, while I was caught under it for the last 6-7 hours.
After you make your way through Canada Corner, you're going to head down to turns 13 and then the final turn 14. We watched Ted Burns, David Porcelli, and Carter Lundy run various combinations of side-by-side from Canada Corner all the way through this final corner of the racetrack. And then it's the blast up the hill. Long run to the start-finish line. It is possible for a driver to make the move and get themselves into a position to take the lead before the start-finish line. Up the hill they come. As always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. First time down to turn number 5. Everybody through cleanly on the initial start. Looks like it. My God, I'm choking on myself. We didn't even start yet.
Single file all through the field, but we already saw a bit of a battle for the lead, and thankfully this year, no shenanigans on the initial start.
No, Ted Burns able to grab the race lead away from Everett Paddock. Paddock able to fall in line with Porcelli, Lundy, and Fisher, the top 5 right behind. And James, I think if I remember correctly, the magic number was like 7/10 of a second. If you were within 7/10, you were good to go to try to make the passing attempt because you were at least in draft range at that point.
Draft range is about 1 second. So it's not, they're still pretty close. At this rate, it's going to take a lap of the track to break away from the draft for a serious mistake. I don't see a big separation here coming pretty soon, although Ted is close. He's listening about the lap of the gods a bit.
Yeah, he's already almost 7/10 of a second up. And if Everett Paddock and David Porcelli get to battling, it could become 1 second real quickly here. Porcelli going to have that dive down to the inside as the gap shrinks to inside of 4/10.
Yeah, turn 1 is your opportunity if you're Ted Burns. The farther and deeper you run in that corner, you can see he didn't use any of that extra room they gave him past the curbing. So he did not take turn 1 nearly as deep as he could have. That is the turn specifically Tony Kanaan was talking about when you need balls to drive this track, because you really need to send it in there. Basically start braking after that, like toes end and let you start braking.
That is where AJ Foyt was practically buried to his waist in mud after he lost the brakes in 1991 at the end of that long front straightaway. Foot went to the floor and there was nothing there. Ramped up over the tires, over the embankment that was retaining, and it was basically a lawn dart that buried Foyt up to his waist. Months of incredible rehabilitative work had him back on the field, in the field for 1992 and what would be his final Indy 500. But Road America is not a place to screw around with. Top 4 all running. Go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say, that is my favorite thing to watch with how paranoid race car drivers are when they give you the pedal cam, especially in the Australian V8 Supercar Series. When they're at backers going down a long straightaway, going into the chase, you can see that the whole way down the straightaway, they're tapping the brakes, making sure they're still there, making sure they're pumped up, especially towards the end of the race until the fluid starts getting hot. You start to get some air in there. They're all smacking it, just trying to pump it up and make sure they have brakes coming up in the corner.
Yeah, the gut check moment of big, heavy road course racing.
Yeah, that's kind of putting it mildly. Something we have not yet discussed are the point standings entering tonight's race. On the official side of things, the official iRacing Championships, Everett Paddock leading David Porcelli 608 to 477 as Porcelli goes fastest lap, and Carter Lundy able to get around Paddock into turn number 1. Paddock, Porcelli, Alexander Wesley Hazelworth, the law firm, 3rd in overall points. Brian Large and Nagisa Yoshikawa are your top 5 in the official standings. But still very early in the season. Not everybody has run this week yet. Also haven't even started getting into drop week discussions. However, on the broadcast championship side of things, as Porcelli going to have the look down to turn number 5. Great pass, but man, that's going to bring Lundy right into play here too.
Yeah, Carter Lundy is a force to be reckoned with. I say it all the time. He's a super young driver. We saw it in TNT on Tuesday. Sometimes rookie mistakes just, you know, relative, I'm young, hot-headed, going to go for it kind of moments. But if he's right behind you, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He'll be in front of you pretty soon.
Let's take a look at the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay down here in the bottom. Actually, we're going to go full screen with this one because we have a mess at turn 5. The 21 overshoots the corner just a little bit. Slide him around. Frank Wynn's going to be collected up. And then you've got a dog pile coming through there.
I called it. I called it. Turn 5, that braking zone. That's so easy to do.
Man, I'll tell you what. Let's get the side-by-side box up here because this battle back in the pack is fantastic. That's going to be Jake King leading Jason Miller, Liam Loisel, Mike Holler, Ryan Lamarche, and a host of others. That they're basically running as a pack through there as your top 4 have broken away by about 2.5 seconds over Thomas Fisher in 3rd. Nagisio Shikawa is going to be a couple of tenths behind there as well. Let's pick this one up in the bottom right-hand corner. And there you see, there's your lead pack on the big box, your second pack in the small box, and then we have that third pack that's running. And James, this is something I love about places like Road America. You end up, it's open setups, there's all the tips and tricks and hacks and everything else you can do to these cars. But you're still going to end up running with people that you're pretty close to being on pace with.
Yeah, you could almost say that, you know, you get splits within the split. You know, packs that have similar driving styles. Because, like, look at it, you got the aliens, the behemoths up here, 1 through 4, just pulling away, just running their race, and then you got the next 4, which are, I don't want to say like Formula 1.5, because like they're on the same level as the top 4. They just, you know, got separated a bit. But yeah, it's interesting to see how it always seems to happen like this, race in and race out. At very least with the big draft-heavy tracks like this.
Yeah, following this lead pack battle along here, as the second pack has calmed down. Actually, the third pack has settled down as well. So we'll come back to the full screen view here on the leaders. This one is really turning fun to watch, Patrick, and we're not even halfway in.
Yeah, I also want to point out, these cars are almost unsetup shoppable because all of the top guys in this series, they're so devoted to this car, there's so much telemetry available for them. And they just give all this out to the public. Any setup hacks that they find with the car, they give them out to everybody. So if your driver with a ton of skill, you put in a little bit of effort, it's almost very easy to make a setup for this car because all of the information is right there, super available to you. You don't even have to be a setup guru, and you can get up front with these guys. Carter Lundy is the biggest example I want to point out about that. We had him in the old car, the Star Mazda, before they came out with PM18. And we had to explain to him that you had to blip the gas to downshift that car. He is, I don't want to say clueless, but about the setup side of it, kind of the more intricate details of driving it part of it, no idea. And you see him right here, right up front with everyone else. So
yeah, that's the crazy thing about Carter is he just gets it, goes fast, turns, and is just automatically quick without processing any of the other stuff going in. And he's already this quick. Like it's honestly just insane, crazy, like whatever you want to call it, how good he is without being aware of some of the stuff. Like when he, like, yeah, it's terrifying when he does realize that.
Yeah, when things click for him, it's going to be kind of scary because he hasn't run this car yet this season. He has not spent a ton of time in the Indy Pro. He's run the USF races, at least the majority of them this season. But this is his first night sitting in this car, and he's thinking about an outside move into Canada corner. Like, the kid has just absolutely no fear.
And almost want to bring in the point of this is esports, and I don't want to say Carter Lundy is one of those guys that was playing another esports game, saw iRacing getting big, and decided, yeah, I'll try this. But that is something we're seeing in iRacing. People are naturally playing video games, hopping into iRacing, figuring it out, and getting really good at it with having no racing experience, no idea how a car even works, can't change their own oil in the real world, and getting in the simulator and going really fast just because they're very good at doing stuff on computer games.
Wow.
It's something very interesting to see. Carter Lundy now in the lead.
Lundy with the big bomb into turn number 1. That was a fantastic pass on Teddy B. And Porcelli thought about it. They were almost 2 by 2. If they start battling like that, James, this second pack with Yoshikawa, Fisher, Daly, and Malloy, they're going to start to catch up here because you're just going to run slower if you're side by side all the time. Oh, that was a big wiggle.
I got flashbacks of like a year ago or so when Preston and Porcelli and the Giudesta guys were side by side. They all died on the last lap. It's going to take some unreal slugfest to get Yosh and the second pack to catch up. Like, about, what is my eyesight?
It's 4.3 seconds, but that gap is shrinking every time they get side by side.
Yeah, but it's going to take a lot for them to really catch up. They're going to have to be side by side the entire lap, and even then, they still might have like another 1.8 or so to go. Like, they're catching, and this is definitely helping them, but they're going to need a lot.
Wow.
Or if they just, die off a Canada corner or something, that'll help them too. Is that all possible?
Well, the other thing is this second group is going to have to get packed up a little bit tighter than they are. Oh, and one car going around. That's Ted Burns.
Teddy, no.
Ted Burns sideways exiting turn 14.
Yep, that'll help them catch up.
Oh, no. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay on this one. Well, at least we'll get the... oh, there it is. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just want to make sure I got the right replay. All right, let's bring it up in the side-by-side because we'll take a look, and you can watch. See what happens to Ted Burns. He just gets the slightest bit wide. Car catches some curb and slides right about into your living room. Little bit of contact with the left front, but that may be enough to have the crew chief saying you've knocked your wheels out of alignment.
I tell you, it is just so easy to do that. It's so easy to do that off the final corner. The exit curb, it's so rough, so uneasy. It just unsettles the car so much. And if you just squirt the throttle just a little bit too much, that unease is enough to, well, do that.
The trouble with that corner is if you want a huge run down that long straightaway, you have to use that curve. You have to maximize your exit and get on it and make that turn as wide as possible. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You have to take it, but it's so dangerous to do so.
Yeah, the big problem is that, and I wasn't really paying attention to that, but if you're just a little bit off on the apex, because if you can hit the apex perfectly, how you angle off of the corner, it's not really an issue. You're getting that close to the grass and the real rough part of the exit curve. But if you're just off the apex, just that little bit, it puts you in that, going full Paul Tracy, danger zone of being right there on the real uneven part near the grass.
The battle for the lead is still really good. David Porcelli had opened up about a half second on Everett Paddock, but Paddock and Lundy able to stay nose to tail. That second pack is making up some ground. It's down to about 4.2 seconds. we'll see, though. This is where I think you have a smart, really, really smart guy in Everett running in second right now. I don't think he's going to see any need whatsoever to try to make a pass here and take the lead of this race. He knows he's got the power under the hood. He knows the setup is good. I'm content to run second until I need to run first.
Yeah, especially at this track, there are so many passing opportunities. You can kind of play chess with the guy in front of you and just wait for it, and make that opportunity going in the candidate corner and not give the guy behind you a very big opportunity to retake the lead before the checkered flag.
The second pack battle has sort of all but dissipated. We'll take a look a little bit deeper in the pack. Yeah, just about everybody now is really kind of single-filed out here and separated by 3 or 4 car lengths. So we'll keep our eye here on the race lead as we are working lap number 8 of 12, about to put number 9 up on the board. Here's the one problem with that strategy idea of Everett Paddock is you have Carter Lundy behind you. The kid who doesn't, like we talked about, he doesn't know what he doesn't know. Right now, his job is to just stay there and be in line. But instead, we're going to go 2, maybe 3 wide to turn number 1.
Man. Carter Lundy has, amazing for a 16-year-old, has enough brains to let out of it before turn 1. Maybe not a good idea to go 3 wide into there.
Yeah, that would have been... Yeah, oh boy. Oh, that gave me anxiety.
Yeah, that had mess written all over it. Oh, Lundy's going to try the double cross into 5. Porcelli runs the corner wide.
Oh no.
Paddock's there.
To the failed move at Motegi, but he made it work without contact this time. I didn't get the position, but
yeah, man, Carter had to make the save our skin block. Like Everett was bound and determined to make it 3 wide, and Carter was like, nope. If I allow this, we're all gonna die. So he had to throw the block.
I have to get this comment on screen. Our buddy 90210 is checking in. The splits within the splits sounded like when I walked in on my ex with her friend from college. Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Can I get an F in chat for our friend 90210?
Don't worry, buddy. That sounds like my college experience too.
Nieje Camargo checking in as well. With 3 cars, the first pack is faster. They won't fight until the end. Forget everything that I said. Fight, fight, fight. Yeah.
Yeah, don't look now. Nick Daly is only 2.8 behind, and we have 3 laps to go, and that's essentially 6 laps of how big this track is.
Yeah,
Here tonight from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, the USC Fight of the Year.
Let's get ready to. I think that's all I can say.
Yes, that is exactly right. You will get us sued by Michael Buffer if you do that.
Let's get ready to violently race cars.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a 5-car battle for the race lead here before this thing is over. Lundy goes way wide. Oh, and Porcelli runs wide at 5. Paddock going to be up the inside under the Corvette bridge. Oh. They'll stay side by side through that corner.
Oh my God, look at the second pack.
We need to get Joe Rogan to commentate one of these things.
Oh God, that would be terrible.
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
I don't know which would be worse, Joe Rogan or Clint Boyer trying to do one of these things. If anybody remembers the COVID NASCAR iRacing broadcast, Boyer was not excited at all to be there.
Just as long as he's not racing while commentating. Who does that anyways?
Can we get Clint Boyer and Joe Rogan in the booth for one of these?
I don't know how we pull that off, but it would be kind of hilarious. Your top three are playing nice once again. Put them in any order. Paddock, Porcelli, Lundy. They have run in all three.
Yeah, put them in any order because any of them can be the leader as we go across start finish line on any given lap.
I will die on the hill and say that Boyer is a better commentator than we can see. They just force him to do the goofy uncle stupid stuff that they did with DW towards the last 5 years of his career.
Clint Boyer was
Clint
really...
actually Clint, and it'll be okay.
Yes. Let Boyer be Boyer, please. He is legitimately funny.
Same with Tony Romo. Same with Romo. Let him break down all the plays. But anyways, back to race car stuff. We're way off topic.
Slightly.
So anyways, we're 1.8.
Oh, man! Was that Lundy?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay.
That was Porcelli going 3 wide down towards turn 5.
And by turn 5, I actually mean turn 3. But apparently we had this discussion. It's because of the Marshall posts. Going 2 wide again. Holy crap.
Wow, Lundy up on the curbs. He was sliding sideways. Porcelli going to be able to grab the spot, but he's going to have to try to break the draft down into turn number 8. Do we see any slippage through the carousel? Late in this race, I'm not noticing any as of yet. It was weird. You could see the cars start to yaw sideways, and they were in full slip through there earlier today. But it's now a 5-car fight for the lead. Daly and Yoshikawa are there.
That is also a unique to the Lotus 79. It might be a ground effects car, but it's fastest when you have it sideways a little bit.
Yeah, and I've always kind of liked the way you have to drive this car to that. You know, you got to really balance the lack of rear grip and rear downforce. That's why if you can be fast in this car, it shows skill set because you need to wheel the hell out of this thing. Okay.
These cars are...
Go
yeah.
on.
I was going to say, these cars are fantastic because they're easy enough to drive that anyone can pick them up. But it's just like driving Lime Rock Park. It's easy to drive, but they're so hard to master. There's so much more you can pull out of these cars.
I wonder if David Porcelli didn't just pull the big brain move of the year on Carter Lundy. White flag is out, 1 lap to go here at Road America, and Porcelli seemingly let Lundy pass into turn 1. Lundy going to try the serpentine. That's it. Now get him back at turn 5.
Not at turn 5. Get him back at Canada Corner.
Here.
Get him at Canada Corner. He only has 1 opportunity going down the straightaway.
Oh, Porcelli's there.
Contact. Paddock going to try and capitalize now.
Oh my goodness. This is fantastic racing here at the front of the field. Daly and Yoshikawa have maybe the best seats in the house for this fight right now. Does Paddock try to do anything later in this lap as well? One final time under the Bratwurst Bridge.
I haven't had dinner yet. Bratwurst sounds good.
Lundy able to hold off Porcelli through the kink. Porcelli is going to have a monster run down to Canada Corner.
I told you, he's going to make the move here at Canada Corner. It's his last shot before the last quarter. He's going to go for the wide side. I don't know if that's the move, but if he can stay too wide, it's going to give him the advantage going up into the Kohler turns.
Up, yep, into 13. They're right there. They're still side by side, bouncing over the curbs. Into 14 for the final time. 5 cars for the win.
Finish.
Up the hill. They're going to drag race the whole way there. Twin checkers in the air.
As the run.
To the line. Lundy. Lundy by 1/1000th. Oh my goodness, what a race!
There's no way that just happened.
Carter Lundy
I was gonna
Wow.
say I saw your timing and scoring flash .000, which means the gap was less than 1,000 of a second, and for the broadcast, it is just throwing up the rounded up decals.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That we gotta go to 10,000ths of a second to find that one out. I say we send this to iRacing and see what the true margin of victory was, because holy crap, that was
yes, close. That was incredible. We're winding this back so we can get the look here.
I'm out of breath.
Wow. That was absolutely incredible. I'm trying to find what might be the best camera angle for this. And let's slow this all the way down. Let's see.
Parker Lundy absolutely going to obliterate it over the pit wall.
All right, this is from the focus cameras that we have here trackside. The run up the hill.
I really want to give praise to the cameraman that was brave enough to stand there.
It's a remote, a PTZ camera. Come on now. We try to put these in places that are as theoretically real as possible. The second closest finish in the history of the National Racing Network. We had one that we have sent to iRacing, and they came back and told us it was truly a dead heat to 6 decimal places is where they stopped it. That was in a charity race for dirt midgets that was absolutely incredible. 6 cars finished within 1/10 of a second of each other. This one, oh my goodness. Lundy had the run. Now it looks like Porcelli is gaining ever so slightly. Lundy still I mean, there's nothing in this to the line. Yeah, I don't know. Just incredible.
That was so close, I couldn't tell the difference between the cars, who was in the lead going across the line. It wasn't like a moment like Darlington and their wherever they were. Yeah, I believe it was Darlington and NASCAR when Ricky Craven won it. They were all able to scream Craven. But that was so close, I didn't know who to call.
No, actually, I called it Porcelli. I saw timing and scoring blink at .000. It was Porcelli, and then a blink later, it was 001 to Carter Lundy. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look and get ready for some victory lane interviews here, because
that was I just want to praise the craziness of the internet. That was so close. Your computer thought it was Porcelli, and then the real timing and scoring came back and said it was Carter Lundy who has just joined us in the booth.
Yeah, Carter, congratulations. Absolutely incredible stuff here tonight. Talk us through that race as a whole, because the whole thing was kind of crazy up at the front. I mean, Teddy B making an uncharacteristic mistake around you guys. That race was just amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys got to see all the action on the broadcast and got a bit more angles of it than I did, but it was really exciting for the most part. It was a shame what happened to Ted there with the spin. Just a couple unlucky spins from him. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes, but just the one in Watkins Glen and right there, just a couple of awkward corners where it's easy to lose it, and he just got pretty unlucky. But that's a shame for him. But the battling after that was pretty tight, of course, and then I mean, the finish was 0-0-0-0, so it doesn't really get any closer than that.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
go ahead, Bizzle.
Carter Lundy, the most nonchalant person after putting up one of the closest finishes in probably iRacing history.
Yeah, it was. Talk us through that last lap, because you made the move down to turn 1. You were able to take the lead, and I said that might have been big brain move of the year from David Porcelli, because he was giving himself a chance to pass you. Ultimately, you were able to hold on to the lead, fight him off through Canada Corner, a place you shouldn't be able to go too wide through. Not only did you go too wide through there, you went too wide the entire rest of the lap, basically out of the carousel. That was crazy.
Yeah, so I knew in the final few laps that the group behind was catching, so we were battling pretty hard through like 8 through 10, and then lap 11 we sort of stayed in line a little bit, didn't battle as much just to get the gap for the final lap. But I knew I wanted to be in the top 2 on the run down to Canada Corner, because that really gives you, if you fall the second, you have the run to the line, and if you're in first, you also have the well, you're in first. So I knew I wanted to be in the top 2, and then I was on the inside for the final corner, which I didn't think I'd get the run because he had the wider line and could get on the throttle a little bit earlier and use a little bit more track, but I just really squeezed up to the wheels of his car, and I don't know if I had a bit more downforce. I didn't feel it pulling until halfway down the straight, and then I just managed to get ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud. Congratulations. A fantastic win tonight. This one is iRacing top 10 material for absolute certain sure. Congratulations on it. And before we let you go, do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, thanks to Team Watson Racing for the setups. Keeping me at the front. Would not be doing that without those setups. I don't know how to make a setup on iRacing, so if anybody wants a good setup for the Indy Pro, then you should check out Team Watson Racing. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast. You're gonna watch that one back later. Not thanks to iRacing for switching these 2 series, because I've just checked and there's 10 minutes till the USF, and I've done a lap yet. So
that is correct.
This time change has not been super helpful.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. Go get a couple laps in here anyway. We appreciate you coming to check in with us. Let's bring David Porcelli in here now. David, I don't know what else to say. Is there anything you could have done differently or would have done differently?
No, I'm very happy with that race. My heart just hurts, It's the story of my life. So, sounds like I'm doing right.
Well, I was going to say...
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Chris's computer initially thought you won. That's how close that finish was.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't make you feel any better, but...
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm like sitting there like telling myself like, wait, I was in first. We ran the same exact lap time. Like we ran the same exact race time. So like, how did he pass me? But he is like, I went and looked. He's about a half an inch ahead of me at the line at 145 miles an hour. So what a race. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was an absolutely epic show. Congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. This is a big one for the broadcast championship standings as well for you. So before we let you go, though, make sure you do all your big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for an awesome broadcast every week, National Racing Network. Shout out to the family, and thanks to Team Watson Racing, Satellite Racing, and that's it. Thanks so much, everyone. Hope to be talking to you in about 45 minutes.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And now let's find the guy who had the best seat in the house for that show at the end. And quite frankly, an absolute monster qualifying lap, too. Everett, congratulations. This one was on pace. That car was up front all night long.
Yeah, we had a good one. Couldn't at the end there, those guys were making it pretty wide. Tough to. I wasn't in the right spot on the last lap. I wasn't sure where to be, and I didn't pick right. So it happens.
Is that one of those where you go, hey, I'm going to let these 2 young, dumb guys ahead of me take each other out, and I'll just enjoy the show, watch them spin off the racetrack and take the win?
Well, that was the plan early, right? I didn't fight. I was like, I didn't think there was any advantage to doing that early, but then those guys were fighting, and it looked like fun, so I guess I wanted to play too.
All right, Everett. Well, congratulations on the third place finish here tonight. And before we let you go, do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, thanks to my TNT teammates for the help. Thanks to the DFR guys for fun running with them. Appreciate Ted helped me out with the setup and some warm-up advice that I think paid off. So thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, bud. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here for a minute. And, yeah, we've only got a few minutes left here, but, oh, my goodness, that is Race of the Year here on the National Racing Network to this point.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot because we've had some absolute barn burners. But, yeah, like the fact that we had the entire top 5, it separated by, like, what, 2 car lengths total coming out of the final corner? What more do you want from that?
Yeah, I don't know what more you can ask for out of that. But my God, did we get a great show. And Patrick, we've got another good one coming up here for the USF2000 cars in just a couple of minutes. Very similar racing I think we're going to see because this is truly momentum driven now. You're not going to power your way through. You're going to have to stay there in the pack and keep it up front.
Yep, and just hope for the best.
Yes. Actually, yeah, I guess I missed the message that Bizzle was stepping away here. So, all right, everybody. Well, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. You are watching the U.S. Open Wheel Doubleheader right here on the National Racing Network.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Welcome back, everybody. More live iRacing here on the National Racing Network, where we're back with the USF2000 Championship after an absolutely incredible race for the Indy Pro 2000s. I don't know how we follow that one up here, gentlemen.
I don't know how we followed that one up either. That was like one of the greatest races you could ever see. They could do it again. I'm not banking on it, but I sure as heck hoping for it.
Down to 10 seconds remaining in the qualifying, or practice session, I should say, here at Road America. And Patrick, we talked about it a little bit before the break, but where the big difference is with these USF2000 cars is it is all momentum. So some of these passes that you might attempt in the Indy Pro, like outside of Canada corner, you just can't do because the momentum that you're going to give up is going to cost you too much in terms of track position later on.
I almost want to disagree. I'll definitely agree in the early portion of the race, but in the later portion of the race, the momentum you lose by making that kind of outside move is also momentum that the guy in the inside line loses even more. These things make less horsepower than I believe my truck does. So, I don't want to say they're not fast cars. They are definitely quick race cars, but in the terms of race cars, they're slow as balls.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. One way of calling things. Following along here with Ted Burns and Carter Lundy, David Porcelli is in this show again. One car not out on the racetrack. We'll see if he comes out here for qualifying, but the 13 machine tonight piloted by one Sebastian Weldon, newest Andretti Autosport development driver running Skip Barber's out in the real world.
Wow, I feel so unprepared.
I also just want to say, I don't think that these cars suck because they're low horsepower. I am a firm believer in the less horsepower a car has, the better racing that goes on. When everyone says NASCAR's making the wrong decision by cutting power, I kind of disagree. I think it's the right decision.
Hey, it's a free country. You're allowed to be wrong.
Well, here's sort of the way I look at that. What show does everybody come to see on Friday or Saturday night? They come to see the headline division. In the Northeast, that's 410 sprint cars or big block modifieds. What is week in and week out the best race of the night? Street stonks, line them up.
Yep, your Friday night, low horsepower, these guys have less than $5,000 invested in these cars. Not much money invested in the cars, not much power, not afraid to go out there and beat and bang and really fight for the win.
I mean, you're definitely not wrong, because the lower horsepower does tend to keep things a little more close together, and you get cool, crazy, knockdown, drag-out battles like what we saw earlier, and like what we're going to see here when qualifying is over.
Exactly. That is my point exactly. You see better racing every week from British touring cars. basically bone stock standard road hatchbacks than you do out of Formula One every single weekend. And I will say that and not apologize for it.
I think there's a lot that goes into that discussion of equipment versus talent versus a lot of things. However, the equipment can sometimes be the great equalizer, and that's what we see here in U.S. Open Wheel D. Even looking at the championship standings for this class, both the broadcast side and the officials side, looking at the USF2000 broadcast standings, it is an 8-point difference separating Carter Lundy from Nicholas Daly. David Porcelli is 13 back, Rod Eskew 14, and Shoma Shintani, who picked up the win 1 week ago. At 3, we have guys that are all very close together. It's only 20 points back to 8th. It's a wide open battle still. Taking a look.
Anyone can go out there and anyone can go out there and still win the championship. We're still early in this season. If someone, maybe from one of the other series in iRacing, some of the top level guys over there, decides to hop in this thing and just kick ass every single time, they're still mathematically eligible to win the championship.
Yeah, and looking at the overall championship standings, Alon Day, currently your leader, is sitting on 548 points. Mike Ekmir, Thomas Renders, Franco Carnero, and Rod Eskew, the top 5. Thus far, 8, now 9 cars have set lap times. Carter Lundy is quickest, no surprise there. Sean P. Malloy Esquire, second quick, only about a 10th back. Ted Burns, third quick, 0.4 of a second back. Depending on where the mistake was made for Teddy B, that can actually determine whether your second lap is even worth running or not in some instances, because you're just not going to have the top speed trying to make that run up the hill. You're down on speed at the start of the lap, and you're just giving all that time away.
Yeah, you really have to, especially on your out lap, maximize your exit off of the final corner. This front straightaway is so ridiculously long that you need every ounce of horsepower you can get out of there.
All 175 of those Mazda ponies underneath the hood.
Rotary ponies, if you want to call them.
Are these cars still the rotary?
No, they are a 4-cylinder.
Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder.
I don't believe they're even a Mazda motor anymore. I almost want to say it's a Ford Ecotec motor in these things.
Well, the iRacing car, it's still the Mazda motor that they went to when they went away from the rotaries. I'm not sure what the real world is running now, but I know this car specifically on the iRacing platform, still a Mazda 4-cylinder.
Yes, and one thing of note is both the USF2000 and the PM18 use the exact same engine. That's what makes these cars so easy to get into in the real world, is you can buy a USF2000 car and then progress up to the PM18. The difference between the two cars, difference in that 50 horsepower, is the intake. You can see the intake hanging off the left side there, with its big scoop hanging off the car. The PM18 does not have that. It has a much more efficient intake that comes in over the roll hoop with super long runners. This thing has kind of a more generic style, traditional style, short runner intake manifold.
Yeah, I think
that is where all of the power is made.
The number is, at least listed by iRacing, is 100 horsepower difference. It's 275 for the Indy Pro, and it is 175 for this car. Following along here is Ted Burns has finished his qualification run. Let's see, still on the racetrack, Sebastian Weldon. See him through the final quarter. The Gamebridge colors on the side of that, number 13. picking up sponsorship from Gainbridge as part of their driver development program with Andretti Autosport. Weldon up and over the line, lap number 2. Again, another lap that will not score. Sebastian Weldon, one of 2 drivers that does not score on their lap. Oh, iRacing, you're killing me. Another full pace lap coming up here for the Indy Pro, or USF2000 championship, I should say. Let's take a look at your starting grid for the U.S. Open Wheel D Series Championship. Starting on the pole for this one will be Carter Lundy with a lap time of 2 minutes 8.801. Lining up alongside will be Downforce Racing's Sean P. Malloy Esquire. Row number 2 will see Ted Burns line up alongside Nicholas Daly. Downforce Racing claiming at least 3 of the top 4 spots here this evening. Mike Ekmir and Nagisio Shikawa on row number 5. Or row 4, I should say. That was row 3. This is now row 4. My math, good, hard work. Max Cooper on the inside, row 4. Lining up alongside David Porcelli. Now we're going to get to row number 5, and it will have another Downforce Racing car in Carl Lempool. And Lewis Tolan in the orange Arrows F1 paint scheme. We got another one, baby. I'm going to love seeing that car come from mid-pack. Thomas Michelud lining up inside of row number 6 alongside the 15 of Brian Lamarge. Only 1.2 seconds separating the top 12 in this race. Row number 7 will have another F1 livery. The Ligier of Richard Holt lining up alongside Kenji Yamamoto. Mohammed Al-Hussein lining up inside of row number 8 alongside Sebastian Weldon. Neither of those cars getting a lap in qualifications. So it will be 16 cars on the entry list here tonight. In fact, an entry list that was 60-some cars deep. 4 splits in total running here tonight. I think it was 63 was the number. Big fields here tonight.
63 car, yeah.
Yeah, that has to be like the biggest we've ever had entry-wise for USF. It's absolutely insane. Like, I did a double check when you told us that. You'll love to see it. Yeah,
and an SOF of 41.49 on this one as well. This is a monster iRating field. Taking a look, actually, let's see if I can sort this by iRating. No, I guess it won't let me. Looks like the highest in the show is going to be... let's see. Ted Burns is going to be number 1 at a 67.13. Carter Lundy at a 66.99. Nice. Third overall will be David Porcelli at 63.54. Lowest iRating in the field will belong to Max Cooper, starting in the 7th position at a 3,098.
Yeah, lowest iRating in the field.
Wait, we've got one car around backwards.
Just about everyone. Oh man, is this Bassmasters? With now the trademark, you guys are the worst pace car drivers in the history of
possibly. Oh yeah, big checkup, and Brian Lamarge gets off the racetrack.
Oh my God.
I don't think any contact was made.
What are we doing here, everybody?
And we're only into the carousel. We didn't even get to the hard parts yet. Let's take a look here at the front wing of Brian Labarge's car. I don't see any damage. I think he was able to get off the racetrack before any contact was made. Oh man, they're already almost running over each other here at the back of the field.
Yeah,
Finally,
a bit of a gap between the front guys and the mid-pack. They finally closed that one up a little bit.
yeah. Why do I have a feeling this has absolute carnage at turn 1 written all over it?
Because it probably does.
Let's see. And I'm not seeing any of these guys in the Discord either to even chat and be like, hey, get this thing going. We're running all over each other here at the back. But pace car's still at the front of the field. Carter Lundy bringing the field down a little bit slow. Sean Malloy going to fill in. Pace car is off. They're going to get a little bit tightly packed up. Lundy still bringing the field down slow. Now he gets on the gas. Great flags in the air. We're underway here at Road America. Not seeing anybody having issues yet at turn number 1. Through the oddly named turn 3, Porcelli with a little bit of an off track, but everybody at this point now single file. And James, we could see them do this for the rest of this race. Single file, and then everybody starts to fan out when you get to the passing zones.
Yes, sir. That was so close.
Teddy B thought about the move at the front of the field. Has to tuck back in line behind Carter Lundy. Oh, and we've got a big pile up towards the back of the field.
Oh my God.
Several cars going off the racetrack. Max Cooper, Thomas Michelud, Carl Lemkuhl, all going to be involved. See what we can get here on the Hot Shoe Race where instant replay is down towards Canada corner. Burns, Lundy, side by side once again. It's going to be Burns this time. Instant replay ready to roll here. Let's take a look at this one. A little block, a little chop, a dive up the inside, and oh, buddy, big time puncherito. Thomas Michelud just absolutely overshooting the corner by a country mile. Still side by side for the lead. Lundy inside, Burns on the outside of 1. Here comes Sean P. Malloy. He's thinking about having a shot up the inside. Not quite there yet to make the move. And James, the biggest difference in and it's the horsepower, you almost have to set these passes up a couple of laps in advance if you really want to try something from deeper in the line.
Yeah, you can't really rely on a dive bomb or a, oh look, I'm here, if gap car. Like, because of the lack of power compared to the Indy Pro 2K, hey, you've got to figure out where the car ahead is weaker and try to maximize on it. You know, typical racecraft, like, it's a little more height, it's a little more necessary in this car, which is what makes it such a great car on the road to Indy development ladder.
I'll tell you what, big brain piece of driving here from Sebastian Weldon. Take a look at this one, the instant replay in the bottom right-hand corner. He's on the outside, that red and white car moving up the inside. He goes, nope, I'm getting out of this. Loops the car back around, rejoins at the tail end of the field. He will live to fight another day. big brain driving from young Sebastian there to not junk the car way early in the race. However, this is only 7 laps long. These guys at the front have got to go.
It is incredible that just a minute ago we were 2 wide 3 rows back in a road course race. You don't see that very often.
You do in this series, that's what makes it great.
Burns, Lundy, Malloy. The battle for the race lead is 3 wide to turn 1. Nagisa Yoshikawa goes fastest lap. Then he gets beat by Lewis Toland. Oh, one car going around right about the mid-pack. That's going to be Mike Eckmere. Bring you up the side-by-side. Eckmere just gets a little bit off wide. Spins it off to the side of the racetrack. And another couple of cars going around right behind Eckmere as well. But my goodness, is this race for the lead good. How about Lundy back to third? Porcelli going for it. Now Lundy's going to look inside. You can't go 3 wide into 6.
They can, and they just did without injury.
This series is awesome.
That doesn't happen.
It does here, apparently.
Now Ted Burns is more than 1 second ahead of this group. If they're not careful, this is going to turn into a battle for second. Because we're going to be at the halfway point here next time by. That gap's still sitting right about 1 second. I would imagine it's frustrating, but these guys are just going to have to play nice here. Otherwise, Ted Burns is going to keep smiling because the lead is now at 1.2 seconds. And I mean, it's like every little duck out of line, you're losing the slightest bit of draft assistance that you're going to get from these things lined up.
Yeah, and that would basically all but clinch. That would basically all but clinch the race for Ted. Like, you're not going to make up that amount of gap with how close everyone is on pace.
Sean Malloy going around Carter Lundy to turn number 1. Nicholas Daly, Nagisa Yoshikawa have a great look at this battle. Kenji Yamamoto has to take the toe in. He lost a rear wing in the incident that occurred right behind Mike Eckmere. Let's take a look and go on board for the side-by-side here with Nicholas Daly. The lead for Ted Burns out to almost 1.9 seconds now. This is absolutely his race to lose. And a guy, if you had to say somebody I want to hot lap for me, in these US Open wheel cars, Ted Burns has to be towards the top of that list.
Yeah, Ted Burns is fantastic at just setting fast laps down, and he can do it fairly consistently, which is why he's races.
Malloy looking inside of Porcelli in the battle for the second position. Carter Lundy's still going to be right there. And I guess at this point, James, if you're in this second pack, well, everybody behind the race leader at this point, you know you're battling for best in class, so you might as well get after it. Oh, hold on to it! Wow, what a save! Nicholas Daly was off the racetrack and sideways and somehow kept it straight.
That was the big wiggle to end all big wiggles right there.
No drafting assistance whatsoever, and Ted Burns sets a new fastest lap of the race. 2-minute 9.171.
Dan is on a mission tonight.
Give a shout here to Muhammad Al Hussein, up 8 positions from where this race started. David Porcelli up 6, running in the second position. But Al Hussein is kind of right there in the middle here, just at the back of this kind of second pack of cars that's now developed, right behind Sean Malloy. Nagisa Yoshikawa at the head of that one. It'll be down to 2 laps to go next time by. Carter Lundy back up to the second position as Porcelli and Malloy will do battle.
Are we going to see a repeat of the last race?
Almost certainly.
Possibly, except I don't think it's going to be for the lead. Get you the side-by-side up here. We've got, one car sliding off the racetrack. I believe that was, that was Lewis Tolan getting off the racetrack. So that battle will quiet things down, but not here in the fight for second. Oh, they're banging wheels with each other. Porcelli and Lundy. Man, if you're Sean Malloy, what do you do here? Do you try to pass them? Or do you just go, hey, these guys are going to wad each other up. I'm going to back off a tick here and just not be involved. He thought about going 3 wide. Now he's going to cross back over to what'll be the outside of the racetrack in turn 5. Lundy still occupies the inside lane. Wow, he really drove it deep into the corner as well. Going to cost him a little bit of time. What a battle for second between Lundy, Porcelli, and Malloy. And cue the Jaws theme, because here comes Nagisa Yoshikawa as well.
Yeah, Nagisa is a force to be reckoned with. He's going to try and make his way up there to the front. He's going to pretty much have to do it as fast as he possibly can if he wants to get up there and have a chance. Almost within drafting range, though.
Yeah, he's getting close, especially if these guys keep doing the side-by-side dance. Porcelli comes around through the kink. May open the door actually a little bit here. No, thought it might. But Lundy swaps back outside into Canada corner. Wow, that is so gutsy. Staying side by side through 12, now through 13. And Malloy has absolutely nowhere to go. These guys are making those cars incredibly wide. But now Nagisa Yoshikawa is flying, and he's caught this group. This could be a candidate for fastest lap of the race as well. New fastest lap, and it's going to belong to Richard Holt at a 2-minute 8.836. Holt a little bit deeper in the field here, but he's in the second group that is now catching the battle for second. The more they battle, the more this group is catching up. You thought it was a 4-car fight? How about 9 could be battling for second position as we are here on the final lap. will pick up your race leader in the bottom right-hand corner as Ted Burns already up under the Corvette bridge. Oh, Porcelli and Lundy still side by side. Wow, what a fight between Porcelli and Lundy. Malloy and Yoshikawa have absolutely nowhere to go. There's just no room.
Yeah, Porcelli wants to put him on the right side of this battle. He's going to try the same thing he did last time, sit in second and wait till Canada corner to go for it, but he's going to have to clear him. He can't do the side-by-side thing yet. He's going to go for the outside of the Canada corner once again.
2 by 2 by 2 through Canada corner. And everybody keeps it on the racetrack. They're still making contact. Off the final corner and up the hill for the final time. Twin checkers will go in the air for Ted Burns. Who's it going to be for second? Lundy's going to have a run up the hill.
Do we see a repeat? I think Carter's in front. There's
drag race to the line. Lundy, he did it again.
No way.
Carter Lundy ahead of David Porcelli. The interval on my screen says 0-0-0.
There's no way we just saw that twice.
Ted Burns picks up the win. Carter Lundy comes home second. Oh my goodness, they did it again. Ted Burns gets the win in USF2000. Timing and scoring is, I believe, it is not yet official. We still have Kenji Yamamoto out on the racetrack.
That's right. Ted Burns won this race. We were talking about the battle for second.
Yeah, Teddy B, he was gone.
Holy crap. So Carter Lundy and David Porcelli, twice within an hour of each other, set some of the closest finishes in iRacing history. And Ted Burns not even there for the show. He's gone, wins the whole damn thing, and he's so far ahead we forget about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the one meme where the woman is holding up her child while the other child is drowning. And the child we're holding up is the battle between Carter and David, and Ted's just drowning in first place.
Yeah, man, what a finish. Let's show you the race results. Ted Burns picks up the win over Carter Lundy, and there it is. The gap, 8.752 seconds identically for Carter Lundy and David Porcelli. Porcelli has finished behind Lundy in 2 races by a combined length of 1/1000th of a second in 2 races, broadcast back-to-back.
Not only can I not wait for Carter's interview, because it's going to be so nonchalant about it, I can't wait for Porcelli's interview.
He was gutted after the last one.
Yeah, it's a good thing they're teammates, otherwise they'd be getting pretty sick of each other by now.
You might have to send him some ramen.
Not only some ramen, I might need to send him my therapist's number because, oh man, that's got to be rough. That's got to be gutting, man. Less than 1,000th of a second. We're not talking about 1 loss here. We're talking about 2 losses with a combined loss of less than 1,000th of a second.
Holy crap. What an absolutely incredible night of racing here on the National Racing Network. Just incredible. Once again, incredible stuff out of these guys from the Indy Pro 2000 championship and the USF2000 championship. Oh my goodness. All you can say is they did it again.
Yeah. There's no way.
Well, let's bring up our race winner here. First things first.
I'm about to put up a hosting session, and I want to see him do it a third time because there's no way. Ted Burns, our race winner. You didn't even see what happened behind you. You were so far in front, it wasn't even in your rearview mirror. What's going on, buddy?
It was a good race. You know, I'm just out there lapping my home track, favorite track. You know, so it was just a Thursday night cruise out there.
I'll tell you what. After the uncharacteristic mistake we saw in the Indy Pros, you looked like a man on a mission. From the drop of the green flag, you grabbed the lead. And from there, it was like, just, I'll let these guys fight, and I'm going to pull away. They're going to have to behave to catch me, and they just weren't willing to do it.
Yeah, we had quite a moment there going on the back straight. I saw Sean came out in the lead, and I pulled to go 3 wide, and I caught in the mirror. I see David going over 4 wide, and I was like, I got on the comms with Sean. I was like, all right, you got to keep it right on the white line because we're going 4 wide, and I'm going to drive as close to you as I can. And yeah, I don't know how we came out of that, but I just sent it in on the brakes and came out ahead, and I got like a second gap behind me. I was like, okay, this is it. I just got to hit my marks, and I think I can run from these guys because I don't think they're any faster than me. I think they can just match me on lap time, and I think I got them out of the draft at that point. And yeah, they decided to keep on battling, couldn't get organized, and that was a nail in the coffin there. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I mean, yeah, it's hard to keep running those laps with that kind of pressure back behind you.
Yeah, well, eventually you hit a point where you were 8.7 seconds ahead of everybody. At that point, is it just a matter of don't break the concentration? Because I would imagine a place like Road America, it is so long, it's kind of easy to just kind of drone out at points.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely hard to stay focused when you're out there. It's just keep looking forward to the next mark, and I just keep reminding myself in the head, it's like roll the speed in and get the exit, and so I just keep reminding myself that, and you just go out there and turn laps. And like I said, it's my home track, so I'd almost never get bored driving around here. It's such a pretty place to drive.
Yes, sir, it is. Congratulations on the win. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with us here. And before we let you go, get all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous in on that absolutely stunning white downforce racing machine.
Yep, got to thank Downforce Racing, especially Carl, for coming up with the white livery. It looks awesome. Happy to represent that this season. Got to thank everyone for coming out, making this such a great series, and you guys putting on a broadcast. And yeah, sorry I couldn't be out here earlier. I was a little bummed about that, but glad to join you for this one.
Hey, we appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with us here. And now let's bring in Carter Lundy, and ho-hum, bud, 2 incredible finishes tonight. You've beaten David Porcelli twice by a total of 1/1000th of a second.
Yeah, when you look at it, it's a little bit disappointing because I think we could have been a little bit closer in both of those races.
I just want to say, so nonchalant about it.
Yeah, like just whatever. Yeah, we do a thing and a thing happens. But, man, I'll tell you what, though. This race had a little bit surprising to me. A lot of the feel of what we saw in the Indy Pro race. You guys just could not get away from each other, with the exception of Ted, obviously just blowing everybody away. But that second pack of cars was just absolutely glued together, and you guys put on an incredible show.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing in my head at the time when Ted got away. It was we were going 3 wide up into the hill, which was gonna slow you down a lot. So we pulled 1 second, and then we were trying to. I suggested we work together, but it's really hard to work together in this track when you have like more than 2 people because everybody has the run. So one person goes for a move, and your whole pack gets slowed down. So once Ted got outside of a second, it was basically the point of no return for him, and he just pulled the pretty big gap as we were battling really hard. And then on the last lap down to Canada corner, David passed me on the outside, and that move really surprised me. I was trying to brake late on the inside. I thought I broke really late, and then I just saw him go on the outside of me like I wasn't there, and I was just super surprised by that. But the race doesn't end in Canada Corner, so I got the run down to the line and 0-0-0-0.
Yeah, twice. Congratulations. Man, just an incredible night. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate the show that you guys put on for us. It makes these shows just an absolute blast. But Carter, before we let you go, do all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yep, thanks to again Team Watson Racing for well, it's a fixed setup of course in this, but the setups in the USOW and the Indy Pro, thanks to them, and they're gonna be on the side of the car or somewhere on the car soon, so I just got to give thanks to them, and thanks to you guys for the broadcast as usual. Looking forward to watching that. Looking forward to watching that one back after. That was really tight. It was some really good racing as usual, and I think my first road course race of the season, or maybe I did one race at Laguna Seca, but I think I'll be back for the rest of the season. No more missing out for the Rangers games. So looking forward to next week, which I think is actually Long Beach.
No, Brands Hatch Indy, I think next week.
Oh, okay. That's
Oh,
gonna
I
be an
can't
interesting
wait.
one. And then after
Yes.
that, we got the Green Hell. So
Yes,
got a
then
good couple weeks coming up.
Yes. I might sleep my way through that race, but we'll let Patrick and James just blabber at each other. All right, Carter, congratulations on the podium once again here tonight, man. That was absolutely incredible. Now let's bring in a guy who Patrick has his therapist's cell phone number at the ready here for David Porcelli.
David, before we start, I can PM you my therapist number. I know it's been a rough night for you. If you need anything to talk about, I'm here. But let's go on with the interview.
It's all right. I got a really good guy. I'll be seeing him tomorrow at 1. It's already set up. You know. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
It was freaking fantastic. I just want to say, without you there, losing both races, as terrible as that is to say, we would not have had a show. We wouldn't have had anything to talk about. That was freaking awesome.
It was the battling was really intense. Was there any thought that went through your head after what happened in the Indy Pro race that maybe Canada Corner was too early to make that move?
I mean, like, what, how was I, that happened twice.
Yeah,
it happened twice. We ran the same exact race time twice. I'm
going to finish this David sentence here. Where else are you supposed to make the move?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, like, you think about it and you go, hindsight's 20/20 and blah. There is no hindsight. It was two perfectly run races that somehow didn't finish second in the second one. I tell you what, David, if I'm in your shoes, man, I get up, I'm walking away and saying, adios, amigos, I'll be back on Monday.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of where I'm at, you know. I know I performed really well, and I'm proud of that. I'm never gonna forget this. This is insane, and no one's ever gonna believe it. So I'm glad it was on a broadcast, and I'm glad I have a ton of witnesses. And just don't gaslight me when I say remember when that happened a year from now.
David, I know you came out on the poor end of both of these, but you get to say you lost 2 races to Carter Lundy, not just one, but 2 of them, for a combined margin of loss of less than 1,000 of a second. You were there.
Yeah, I was there. We were all there. It happened. Hopefully next week I can secure a win without any side-by-sides and just run away with it. Go for a nice Thursday night drive, because that's sort of what I'm due at this point.
You were hoping for a nice, very boring, very simple race win next week.
My goodness.
We'll see. Well, I'll tell you what, David, congratulations. 2 podiums. Not a bad night whatsoever. And ultimately, I guess you need to find a couple of 10,000ths of a second somewhere. Pick up the pace, man. I don't know. But congratulations on the podium. And before we let you go, do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, shout out to the family. Thanks to Team Watson Racing and Satellite Racing. Shout out to Racecraft One Indianapolis. Thanks to National Racing Network for putting on an awesome double broadcast this season, and I look forward to being in the booth with you guys next week.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. Oh, my goodness. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I'll tell you what, Chris. I think we need to send only one case of ramen noodles to David Porcelli, because if it puts half the smile on the face as it did Johnny Avila last night, I think it might make him feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't know. I am truly flabbergasted. Easily the best day of racing we have ever put on these airwaves. The Lotus 49s were epic to watch at Laguna Seca. The 79s were incredible here. And then US Open Wheel blew those two shows right square out of the water. Incredible.
Before this race, before the PM18 race started, I was sitting at a fire, sipping my beer, just sitting all happy, like, maybe, you know what, I'll skip out on tonight. I'll sit out here, enjoy nature. But I am so glad I didn't, because I can't believe what I just saw. Not once, but twice we saw not only a photo finish, but a photo finish that you couldn't call until iRacing flipped the timing and scoring around when everything fully updated. Incredibly close racing, the closest finishes I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, this is not the iRacing top 10 of top 10s for the year, there might be a revolt out of the US Open Wheel Camp. Because you do it once and it's like, okay, you get close finishes, almost every day on this platform. The same two guys to do it back to back, I am at a loss for words, James, and that does not happen often, bud.
Yeah, man, these were... You can't ask for races like this, man. Like, it's incredible. Like, we were treated to... It's just been an amazing week. Amazing week of racing.
Yes, it has been. And quite frankly, I think we might see more of the same next week as these series head off to Brands Hatch Indy. And oh, by the way, we have more coming up tomorrow here, Bizzle. 5 p.m. in the East. Yeah.
When I was over in Europe, when I was in Ireland, the best racing I saw, and I am disappointed you cannot see this in the United States, was we had on the TV U.S. Legends cars, the 600 Legends cars that run little ovals all along the East Coast of America, racing at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. They had 60 of them over there. It was incredible. And I can't wait to see the U.S. Open Wheel cars go run that track next week.
Yeah, this one is going to be wild 1 week from tonight. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the East, good luck with that one. But the Camel GT Happy Hour, going to try to outdo these guys. And quite frankly, we've seen them do it a couple of times this season. We're back on Monday night with the Silver Crowns. Wednesday night for the Sim Racers Club Sim Speed Shop Premier Series heading to the Daytona Road Course. Bizzle will be driving in that one. Man, a lot of action coming up here. You don't want to miss any of it. But time for us to get the heck off the airwaves. For Patrick Byrne, James Watson, and everybody here at NRN that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.